Pretty Dees, here we go. Facebook.com/Pretty Show. It's time to geek out with Josh, your host.
What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Welcome to Pretty Dees, the short show about movies, comics, games, and all the pop culture in between. We are talking comic books today because Marvel is putting out some new original animated shows on Hulu. Yes, despite backing away from Netflix and despite the fact that Disney, their parent company, is coming out with their own streaming service in Disney+, Marvel is still partnering with Hulu to release several adult-oriented animated series. So adult-oriented, aimed at older people, probably featuring raunchier comedy, especially based on some of the people that they've tapped to work on these shows. And they're also focusing on some very offbeat characters, so obviously there's a lot of comedy to be had from the characters that they've chosen. The first series is Howard the Duck. You might know Howard the Duck from his 1986 film, or from his cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy, which sort of brought him back to the forefront of pop culture, reminded people that Howard the Duck existed. If you're not familiar with Howard the Duck, he's an anthropomorphic, cigar-smoking, suit-wearing duck who's actually an alien from another planet. That alien was dropped on Earth by Thog the Netherspawn, who of course is the Overmaster Sominus of the Dark Domain. Yes, comics are pretty weird. Howard is this character that, when done correctly, can have this kind of irreverent Deadpool quality, but most of the time has been done pretty poorly. However, I think it'll be done correctly in this case. It's being worked on by Kevin Smith and Dave Willis, who has worked on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. So Kevin Smith, I know people either love him or hate him for the most part, but he's a dude who really appreciates comic books and really understands comic books and really just loves the general medium of comics. And he certainly knows how to do something as silly and ridiculous as Howard the Duck correctly. So I'm really, really looking forward to this one, and I think Kevin Smith will knock this one out of the park. The next show that's being worked on is a show focusing on MODOK. MODOK, if you don't know, is the mental organism designed only for killing. Again, comics are pretty weird. This show is coming from Jordan Blum, who's worked on American Dad, and Patton Oswalt, who I think he is super, super funny, so I'm really excited to see what he does with this show. So this show focuses on MODOK, the supervillain, trying to kind of balance his work and his home life. So that'll be interesting, seeing MODOK have a family. Pretty excited about that one as well. Seems pretty cool. I'm not the most excited about American Dad as a show, but Patton Oswalt is certainly a very, very funny individual. The next show is focused on Hit Monkey, which is a newer character than some of these others. He's a side character in Deadpool. He is, as you would expect, a monkey that's also a hitman. That's coming to us from the team of Josh Gordon and Will Speck, who have worked on Blades of Glory and Office Christmas Party. So, a couple pretty funny films there for Hit Monkey. And the final show that is coming is featuring Tigra and Dazzler. Tigra is a cat lady from Marvel Comics, and Dazzler is a mutant, and she has the power to dazzle. Yep, that's basically exactly what it sounds like. Dazzler is also a pop star, and she's been a member of the X-Men. So in a weird way, Dazzler is kind of the most mainstream of all of these characters that have been picked out for these series. Now, Tigra and Dazzler, the team-up show, is coming from the writing team of Erica Rivinoja, hopefully I'm saying that correctly, who has worked on Last Man on Earth, and Chelsea Handler, who's known for being Chelsea Handler. So again, they've really tapped some big names with Kevin Smith, Chelsea Handler, Patton Oswalt, and some names you wouldn't normally see working in comic books. So it's pretty exciting to kind of see all of these people, these kind of big personalities, apply their mark on comic books. Obviously, Kevin Smith has worked on comics before, but not really kind of in this vein, not something like Howard the Duck, and not really in this animated series format. So I'm pretty pumped for all of these. They certainly are much more interesting than a lot of the animated shows that Marvel is putting out. and they're very kind of off the beaten path here. Apparently all these characters are going to also team up as this goes and kind of form a weird little superhero team. So bizarre stuff happening in this new little universe they're forming over on Hulu. So of course the big question is, why is this on Hulu when Disney has their own streaming service they're working on, Disney Plus? And I think really there's a couple answers to this. And first is that yes, Disney Plus is coming, but Disney also owns a majority stake in Hulu with all of their acquisitions. So it kind of makes sense for them to continue to strengthen Hulu as a service in addition to spinning up their own service. They need to keep both running. Also, it seems like because these shows are going to be adult focused, maybe that's something that they don't necessarily want on their more family-friendly Disney Plus platform. It seems like Disney Plus, as far as a rating will go, is they maybe kind of only want things that are as hard, quote unquote, as, things you could show in a Marvel movie. And something that is a bit more risque, like an adult-focused cartoon, is not something that they want on their Disney Plus service. So it makes sense to kind of build Hulu out as basically the adult version of Disney Plus. So when you really break it down and you think about it, it makes a lot of sense business-wise. It just initially seems kind of weird with Disney pulling away from Netflix and then really just opening up the doors with Hulu. Nonetheless, I'm very excited about all of these shows, and I can't wait to see more and hear more and find out more about them as we get closer to their release. So that's going to do it for Pretty Dece for today. Thanks very much for joining me to talk about these new Marvel animated shows that are coming to Hulu. Make sure to check out prettydeceshow.com for links to subscribe to the show, both in podcast form and on YouTube, which is at youtube.com/prettydece. And of course, ways to support the show as well. You can also find links to my social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Pretty Dece Show.